last day, and I want to have a little heart-to-heart chat with you. First of all, I don't want you to think because it's the last day that you're not going to keep in touch. Right?
Is this being recorded already?
The inspiration is going to continue. It's going to continue. The teaching is going to continue. The love is going to continue. When I say love, I'm talking about like esoteric, spiritual love. Okay? Not romantic love. Don't get excited. It will continue. It will continue, and the format is going to be different. Right? You're not going to have the dynamism of being in the same class, in the same physical space. But I would be more than happy to hear from you on Facebook, emails. If you're going through a problem, if you're going through a crisis, if you need a letter of recommendation, that's what I'm here for. So I don't want this to be the end of our rapport. That's very important. Now in this class we talked a lot about what the world is going through, all the upheaval, social unrest, economic crisis, the political chaos. And I came across this very interesting Persian proverb. I wanted to share it with you. It goes something like this. He who has not found heaven on this earth will not find heaven in heaven itself. In other words, I don't want you to lose hope. Living in this day and age, it's very easy to lose hope. Because everything that we're fed is negative, it's destructive, it's hopeless, it's carried to us with a sense of despair and scarcity. This is something I want you to keep in mind. Do not lose hope no matter how bad it gets. Because if you can't find heaven on this earth, you will not be able to find heaven in heaven itself. Now, for myself, I found what works for me is I came to this realization about 10 years ago, around 10 years ago, a little bit around 9/11, before 9/11. Is that my existence made the most sense to me when I was being of service to others. It took me a good 30 years to come to the realization. So if you find a line of work where you are being of service to others, and you have managed to muster enough courage to follow your higher calling, don't ignore it. Do not ignore it, because you'll be happy. No matter what the world is going through, no matter what the condition of the world is, you will be happy. You will have a sense of purpose. You will have a purpose-driven life. So I was meditating on that, and I came across this great quote by Wayne Dyer. How many of you know who Wayne Dyer is? Dr. Wayne Dyer is a popular psychologist. He's a motivational speaker. He's been around since the 80s. And he has terminal cancer. So he won't be with us much longer. He's a rare form of leukemia. And I came across this quote, I want to share it with you. He said, let us be in a state of gratitude for everything that happens in our lives. Everything. And he capitalized everything. All the letters in the word everything. Let us be thankful for the storms as well as the smooth sailings. What is the lesson or the gift in what we are experiencing right now? Let us find our joys not in what's missing in our lives, but in how we can serve one another. Again, it goes back to the spirit of service. It doesn't matter if you're working for a think tank, like some of us do, or if you're a professor, or if you're the person who's the greeter at the local Walmart. As long as you have a sense of purpose and you're making a difference, even if it's in one person's life, your existence will make sense to you. There's a Navajo proverb, 2 words, ego amato. It means it all starts with you. One person at a time. This is how you're going to change the human condition. The worst thing you could do could be summed up by Albert Einstein quote. He said the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch evil being committed and choose to do nothing. Those are the people who are apathetic. Those are the people who are indifferent. Those are the people who don't care about the suffering of their fellow man. the world will be destroyed by people like that. And how much of that is going around today? A lot. Why is it? Why is that happening? Because of the way the problems are being presented to us. The problems are being presented to us in a way, in a manner where there's no solution. That you're stuck, that there's no hope. And it's engineered that way. It's engineered to be presented to you that way in order to create a sense of despair and hopelessness. That way you won't go out and make a change. Because the real owners of the current system are counting on you to be apathetic, to not give a damn. Because the minute you do, that's the minute you will find your voice and you will find your sense of purpose. And that will also be the moment where you will stand up to the system and you will speak truth to power. So, overcoming that apathy, overcoming that sense of despair and helplessness is the key here. Right? Not forgetting that you could still be inspired is the key here. Now, in my particular tradition, there's an allegory, there's a beautiful story where a man dies and goes to heaven. His guardian angel appears to him and says, "You're going to heaven, you lived a very fruitful life." And before he goes to heaven, he tells his guardian angel that I want to check out how hell looks like, or what hell looks like. And the guardian angel says, "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I'm sure." So they start walking through hell. What he notices is that as he's walking through hell, that everything is beautiful. Mansions, there's hills and mountains and rivers and trees and everything that he didn't think he would find in hell. And as he looks closer, he sees a long table with people sitting on both sides. And he walks closer and closer, and then he notices this incredible amount of chaos, where people's arms, right at their elbow, is not bending. So when they want to eat food, they'll throw it up and they'll go under it, and there's this chaotic scene. And he doesn't know what to make of that. And then he says, "Okay, take me to heaven." So the angel takes him to heaven. Same exact scenario. Hills, trees, rivers, beautiful scenery, blue sky. Same thing as hell. And he also notices a big long table with people sitting on each side of the table. Same scenario. These people's arms doesn't bend at the elbow. But he notices the difference. Instead of throwing up the food up in the air and going under it, they're feeding each other. And that's the difference between heaven and hell. Being service to one another, helping each other, or being completely self-absorbed and self-motivated and having no energy or no desire to help anybody else. That's the sole difference between heaven and hell in my Sufi tradition. So when you walk away from this class, and hopefully some of you will be in leadership positions, I want you to remember what we learned in this class. The values, the morality, the corporate social responsibility. Right? I want you to keep that in the back of your mind always. At whatever position you're at, how are you making a difference? It doesn't have to be a gigantic, systematic difference. Small differences, one day at a time, one act of random kindness at a time, will add up. And if we all do it, together we will help elevate the human condition. And that's how we can build a new world. Otherwise, we're all doomed. And that's the difference. So, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being patient with me and for coming to class, for participating, and go ahead and give yourself a round of applause.